Messi plays naturally at the age of 5. He plays so well. Ronaldo is everything on the field because he likes seeing people just play it. You know what I'm saying? And he had that. So that wish led him to want to train himself rigorously to be as good. And now both of them are trying to beat each other. So to me, in that place, the three categories of potential have come to play. Your talent, having the natural and inherent ability to do something effortlessly and excellently. Number two is having the passion, the impulse and the impulse in your heart that makes you feel like you don't even say God. That makes you feel like I think I can.
And everybody has that passion. You feel like you don't have that talent.
Actually, everyone has a passion. If you don't have a talent, so and because you now develop an area, because you develop skill in the area of your passion, you now become as excellent as though you are talented.
So deep. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the School of Growth. So today we are going to be discussing about discovering yourself and your potentials, knowing exactly what to do as regards your God-given purpose. And today I have a very, very special guest with me. His name is Mr. Judah Adeyemi. He's a life purpose coach, amongst other things. He's been a friend and a very, very good mentor to many, right? Including myself, yes. So do make welcome my very own special guest, Mr. Judah Adeyemi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. It's a pleasure to be here. I really do not take it for granted. Just like he has mentioned, my name is Judah Adeyemi. I'm a life purpose coach and inspirational speaker. I help people to discover their life purposes, and I teach them how to best maximize their God-given potentials. And it's a pleasure to be doing this today. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's my privilege. I'm a mentor to many, but not you.
You have already denied me in in front of your word. But I mean, just before this episode, we were sharing that I was really, really enjoying it. You said your mentor is not the person that you call your mentor. Your mentor is the person that you do what you say. So you don't have to. And I think that's really a word for someone, right? Like, you have mentors, but you are not listening to them. You are not hearing what they say. It's not supposed to be. So, anyway, we are discussing on the topic of discovering yourself as a person. I know that this is something that this is your area of expertise. So I'm really, really excited to be doing this with you. So I know there's somebody watching us at the moment behind the camera, as it were. Somebody watching and saying, "Okay, I'm a young person, probably I'm in the university, as it were, and just like most of my audience are, and they are saying, I know I have some things, right? I know that I can sing a little, do this a little, do that a little, speak a little, write a little, but I'm yet to realize what exactly is my strong point. And some people have been concluded that I don't have a strong point. Like, let's just, so how am I able to know where exactly I fall into as regards my God-given potential?
All right. So the first thing I like to talk about, because the first I like to say when it comes to the topic of potentials is that many people actually fall into the category where they think they are not talented. If you want to take a census right now, just go through. I stay a lot online. I see a lot of content online, and when you see people who have developed the ability to express their potentialities, excellently, you get to see comments like, "Oh, boy, me I get potential like this. Boy, me I get talent like this." Because subtly in their mind, the excellent expression of someone else's potentiality has automatically made them to feel like they do not have a talent. So the truth that I should start with today is that everybody has a potential, even though everyone will not have a talent. And I'm going to tell you why.
So everybody has a potential,
but everybody
does not have a talent.
Actually, it's arguable.
Okay.
It's arguable, but it's something I've come to realize based on my own definition of talent. One of the things I tell people is that your potentialities are your advantageous leverages in life. The things that give you some level of edge and advantage over other people. As a unique being, you and yourself as a unique being, we have certain things that characterizes and describes our uniqueness. So those uniqueness, those things, those traits, those characters Defining our uniqueness is what defines us as an individual, as a person. Now, on the topic of potentiality, potentials have different expressions, in which one of those expressions is your talent. So I would naturally categorize your potentials into three things. Number one, your passion. Number two, your 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 talent. Then number three, your skill. Your talent is what you are naturally good at. Have you seen people that you know that by virtue of their age, have you seen a child dance in a very excellent way? Like, wait,
The picture is
yeah,
coming
so
right now.
a picture.
God bless you.
So you need to know that there's no way this child have learned this thing.
Yes.
So it's an inherent expression of an hidden ability. So that's why you call it talent. Now, not so many people can have the guts to say that, okay, I have some level. If you have some people, then they don't have any talent. And where you may want to really argue with them, there may be justified reasons why that may be true. But they have a passion that they can develop into a skills. Now, a very perfect example that I use anytime I'm making this analysis, I say that I don't know much about football. I'm a guy, and I'm not sorry. Yes. So I don't know much about football, but I will naturally hear that they say that Messi is a talented player. Ronaldo is a skilled player. Either that is true or not, this is how I choose to define it. I'm trying to imagine the childhood of both of them. Messi plays naturally and so well on the field, but Ronaldo cannot play, but has the passion to play. Most people do not pay attention to their passion because they cannot see some level of excellent expression at the beginning or at the level of infancy.
So true, so true. Does that mean I can be a good cook?
Yes.
If I have a passion for it.
So now a very perfect example. You know me, I know you know me on a personal level. Part of my hobby is cooking.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it
cooks
didn't.
well.
Yes, yes, I do. So it didn't come naturally. It started with me liking good food. Before you know it, I started educating myself along the areas of my interests. Along the
Not like
areas of
another person.
not like another person.
That may come naturally
for.
makes a lot of sense.
Now, the truth is that at the point where, because now, either talent or passion, there's a level of education you have to bring to develop how you may express and maximize that, and how you express and deploy that potential that you have. However, there's a level of rigorous training or education you may need to go to if you just have passion and you have talent. So, back to my example, Messi plays naturally at the age of 5. He plays so well. Ronaldo is envying on the field because he likes seeing people just play it. You know what I'm trying to say? And he wishes he had that. So that wish led him to go and train himself rigorously to be as good. And now both of them are trained to each other. So to me, in that place, the three categories of potential have come to play. Your talent, having the natural and inherent ability to do something effortlessly and excellently. Number two is having the passion, the impulse and the impulse in your heart that makes you feel like you hear people say guts. That makes you feel like I think I can do
And
it.
everybody has that passion.
And everybody has that
You feel like you don't have that talent.
Actually, everyone has a passion if you don't have a talent. So, and because you now develop an area, because you develop skill in the area of your passion, you now become as excellent as though you are talented.
So deep. I've never seen it from that perspective. That's what so true. Wow. Wow. So like what would you say to someone that in your example now has the passion, right? Doesn't have the talent, who is and that person is thinking, oh, I can't match up. I get what you're saying, but
So
I mean,
so on that, I think it's a mindset because we're in a world that is very vocal about the expression of applause for people who are excellent, and because having talent comes with some natural level of expression of excellence than having passion that you have to develop into skill for people to see. There is naturally the bias that is tilted towards people that are talented than people that went through rigorous discipline and education to become skilled in their area of passion.
So true. So true.
So that person is actually responding to the natural societal bias.
Bias, yes, because there's already a bias for certain bias for just fashion that has not been refined.
Actually. So that's, you remember the example I made at that time. That's what makes those kind of people to say that, "Ah, I don't think I have any talent in this life." You don't have talent. There's no talent that you need. Yeah, there's no talent that you need. It's the process of talent or the process of your potential.
But sorry to to come in from. But saying this way now even shows that passion itself is inherently valuable.
Yes, it is.
Like because that passion still is it's still almost like talent because you didn't it's not like you worked yourself into a passion. You just realize that you naturally yes.
And I call it a pointer to your genius. See, your talent too is also a pointer to your genius. But you have high tendency of excelling in life with your talent than with your passion. And what do I mean by that? If you do not give your talent is so, how shall I say it now? It's so vocal that even while you keep trying to hide it, it gives a voice to itself. But passion can die.
Yes, yes. So
Passion
true.
can die. The expressions and the impulses are still going to remain there, but eventually
There will be a time I need to want to like to do this thing.
and you just cannot find a passion. And that's because for a long period of time you silenced it first unconsciously, then eventually consciously. Because there's a vocal voice of every potential that God has given into it that will keep crying out for expression. So that it will take some level of intentionality and consciousness to subdue the voice. It's just like the Holy Spirit trying to speak to you naturally. But the Holy Spirit can come just giving them subtle suggestions. Don't do this, don't do this. But eventually, because of God's love, it starts seeing visible signs. It will take some level of consciousness and intentionality
To really shut
to shut down the voice of
so
God
true.
so that it does not have influence over you. So that's exactly how your potentials. That's why you hear stated like your potential is crying out for expression. To me, either passion or talent, every potential you have is actually crying out for expression.
So some people now think that sorry for cutting again.
No problem.
So some people think that because this is making so much sense to me, I think this episode is first for me. Some people think that the passion thing when they have passion for a particular thing, like they cannot do, I see someone that is talented and they're like, I wish I could do this thing, right? Some people now shift to complain, right? Like, oh, like it's good I don't have talent, see my life.
Yes, that's exactly
That emotion is really supposed to be a fuel.
There's nothing that pains you much in life seeing somebody doing what you actually dream of doing. Your excellence in life is not my problem. Your result provided in life is not my problem. But the fact that you are producing the result that I've once desired, that's the real pain. So, but the problem is that we do not approach other people's success based on intimidation. Our natural response to it should be inspiration. So when I see you excelling at an area that I desire to excel, I should actually be inspired by your excellence, not be intimidated by it.
Wow. What of someone saying like I've tried. It's not like I've not tried. I remember, let me give you a funny story now. I'm being vulnerable here. But I remember in secondary school, GS1, they called for math past. And before I went to the school, I later finished them. So my GS1, I went to a different school. They called for math past. I went there. You can say that's passion, right? I've never done this thing before. Apparently, getting there, as I started matching, in my head, I was doing the best I could. I don't know if you get. Like, I just spent up to 5 minutes there. I was the first person there. Like, you are doing rubbish. Change this. You want to say one UFP, they removed me. Like, and the move was so painful because, first and foremost, number one, I thought I was doing very well. And number two, there was no even option to say, you can do it this way, right? So someone like me, since that time, like cancer affected me. Since that time, I might have had a potential. As I said, I feel now what I'm trying to say now is that passion I could have probably developed it to now become something I'm strong at as someone that was naturally talented in the math part because all of us were young people that were there, just one. Even the person that is good may not know that is good. Maybe it's just the talent that is expressing.
So in your case, I tell people there are so many factors that influence the expression of people's individual geniuses. Education is one, environment is one. Which was your own case? You see, we many of us grew up with people who do not have a depth of our individual in excellence, or they do not help us to focus on our uniqueness and help us to give expression to it. So they have standards of defining how excellent or good a person is. And once you don't match up to that standard, you are judged failure. Now, the problem is not their judgment, because their judgment is not how should I say it now? It's not total, it's not life defining. But the problem is that the an attempt to shut down that person's honest attempt has done something to that person's mind, just like you.
Exactly.
A lot of people are struggling with low self-esteem naturally because they came from a background where they have been consistently shut down or talked down in trying to attempt things that they would naturally have passion for.
But because there is no talent and it's not visible as
And it's not
excellence.
visible as excellence. They only had a passion then that would have been developed into a skill that will make them to have been as excellent as someone who's talented. But the parental figure or the guardian at that moment did not educate them well, or they were not under the right environment to give expression to that passion or develop it to become a skill that is enviable.
Wow.
So it's a sad reality. It's a painful thing. As a coach, I deal with a lot of people that have been through traumatic experiences, that have been to that have been through discouraging scenarios in life, painfully from parental figures, painfully from people that are supposed to be mentors and role models of the future to them. But they have become what they became today because they've been consistently talked down on things they would naturally have passion for. And that's why you tell them that I think you can do this. And like, I have somebody now, the person is really, really older than me. But anytime I sing, because I like singing, anytime I sing, the person will be like, you see this music thing now? My mom used to tell me that you're not good with this music thing. But the person feels like she's really good. She can still do this thing. But it has affected the conviction of that person of her own musical ability, because somebody who was supposed to be a parental figure has consistently taught her out of the attempt to become excellent in it. She's a sad reality.
Wow. I think that is really why people that they feel quote unquote they don't have talents in this sense, right? And their passion, because passion is extra work. People that guidance, parents that we can believe in just your passion and building it up into a skill. Because the passion has also been shut down. Now looks like there's really nothing in their hands.
So
Meanwhile, based on your definition, regardless, even if it's talent, if it's passion, both of them are as powerful.
they are powerful. In fact, what ensures your significance and relevance in life? Any attempt to be relevant and valuable and useful in this life outside of your potential, even if it gives you some level of momentary regard, it's not sustainable. That's why people, after acquiring a lot of material resources that they feel like can validate their usefulness or their being valuable, there's still a quest for more. There's still a hunger for more. Because it is at the point where you express and you manifest, give expression to your potential, that you come to the point of satisfaction that comes from purpose manifestation.
So you can have a lot of money, and if your satisfaction is in singing, you will need to sing that song.
No matter how much money you have. But because of the expressiveness and societal validation of material resources, it can make you to assume that you don't have a need. I tell people you can respond to the praise of men. The boss, everything like this. When you are done driving your whatever you get what I'm trying to say, when you are done creating that, giving expression out there, you come back at home at night where there is no praise of any man. And you cannot deny the conversation that the actual conversation you have with yourself, the silent whispers that just keep saying that there is more to you, there is more to you.
Okay. Wow. Now let's this is an interesting conversation.
Actually.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more about external factors. Right. So we have church, for instance, we have school. I mean, I don't even want to go into that. We have parents. Right. So how do there's someone saying I'm a teacher, right? I'm a pastor, for instance, and these people they have center in purpose discovery, right? They are centered in self-discovery for each individual. So what would you say is the mindset people like this, people that are in places of guidance, should do for the next generation?
Shaping what they do.
Yes, exactly.
The simple answer is stewardship.
Hmm.
The simple answer. Either you're a parent, you are a teacher, you are a pastor, you are a mentor to anybody, any position that you occupy that gives you the ability to make decisions or to control factors that can determine the destiny of other people, it is important that you understand it as stewardship. Most times, you see, the doctrine of stewardship is very taught, or no, let me say doctrine. The topic of stewardship is very significant because it is the first thing to accepting the responsibility that comes with the expectation of the position you've been entrusted, you've been given. Now, the one thing that defines the failure of many people when it comes to parenting them, because no matter what you do, either you're a teacher, you're a biological parent, or you're a mentor, you are parenting, right? You are parenting a child, you are parenting an individual. Every form of parenting has to be approached not from the standpoint of ownership, because it's not because ownership is totally wrong in itself, but ownership makes you to focus on yourself than other people. When I own something, it has to satisfy my desires. Many people are trying to live the failed dreams of their parents, for example, because their parents are too selfish to help them to realize what God would have them become that may not suit their own individual desires.
So true.
So, answering your question that what posture should they maintain if you happen to be in this point is to understand that it's stewardship. If things are committed into your hand and that thing has to prosper your hand, understand first that when before God can give a vision, He has made a provision. Because that is also another thing to fight. Because some people are not even in a position where they even imposing or say, okay, do this thing as it gets what the person may do. They even feel like they are not worthy enough to determine. The point is to understand that once you have the vision or once God has put it into your hand, everybody has the ability to be a parent. It's an innate ability. God has made a provision for it. The wisdom, the resource, everything you need to have to. So number one is that God has been preparing for that vision He has given you. Number two is that you have to lead or raise that child the God's way. The Bible says that train up a child in a way that he will go. When he has grown up, he will not depart from that way. But that the way to train up that child is in God's way, according to that child's peculiar destiny. That may not make any sense to you as an individual or may not satisfy your self-centered needs. A biblical story. A biblical story. It didn't make sense to the father of Joseph that the sun, the moon, and the stars are bowing down to, even though he believed in the child by giving the child a coat of many colors.
Yes.
So even in there's something I call the frailty of humanity. It comes to play at every point. The frailty of the humanity, the human realities of Jacob cannot make him to understand that this child is going to be so great that it's not like he didn't believe that he would become great.
Yes. But I mean, he didn't see that coming.
So I just cited that amongst the many examples to say that when it takes a lot of consecration, dying to self, and exalting of God, exalting God, or allowing God to how should I say, allowing God to do what He would do, even if it does not satisfy me as an individual. And that's the same mindset you must have when it comes to still worship. God wants you to. It's not as I've given you this thing. Take care of this thing the way I want it. Now you can define your own personal mechanisms or strategies to deal with it. But the truth is that there is a way that thing should be. So until you conform to the formula or to the strategy or to the unique way God wants you to train up a child, no matter how much, no matter what you do to a child, you not train up that child. You may live with a child, but you not train up the child. So just because the child gets your food, the child uses your money to go to school, you have not parented the child. There's more to parenting than that.
Parenting is stewardship.
Parenting is stewardship. That's the first mindset to have about parenting. There's a lot to say on that, so I'm trying to not go deep and
I understand. Well, but I think that like that makes a lot of, it will help people, especially parents, right? Like that crucial mindset that first and foremost don't have an. I think my parents do have an ownership mindset,
actually.
right? Justifiably so. I mean, some
That's the point.
justifiably so, but I mean, we should still hold on to God's standards. Another thing, which is now a very real issue,
Okay.
right, that I want us to touch is the matter of finances. All right. So my passion, right? But everybody is saying, can you the more? And what you are saying now is not even what we've said up to this point is not even to the point of money, bring it's not even to the point of you bringing money or whatever. Like you are saying that the satisfaction you derive from it is like the primary, that you might even have all the money in the world. If you don't get this sorted, you might not have the fulfillment you desire. But now I'm young. There are two parts I believe that we can go about it. Like, and in a way I subscribe to it. I may be wrong, but like do all you can to get the money. In not of course not negative things, but like you may need to not do things that are passion wise.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, like I think this is just part of the question.
Yes,
I know,
yes.
right? Passion wise, so that you can now have time to really do what you really enjoy doing. That means you know where to put a stop. Like if not necessarily a stop, but it's not down to your, you know, when you get to some certain levels of wealth, it doesn't necessarily change your level of comfort and all.
So this is how I address it. Number one, there are two things I need to address. The way success is defined by societal standard is usually emphasized on material resources.
Yeah.
Number two, what we need to start with when it comes to judging your reward of manifesting or giving expression to your potential is not money. So most like there's too much of emphasis on money as any form of reward. There are bigger rewards than money. In fact, satisfaction, sense of significance and value. Those are bigger fulfillments. And it's a topic that the world is not ready for. So let's say we're not to hear. So this is it. When it comes to you mentioned something that is called purpose financing. At a point in my life, I have to be honest. I knew that I was valuable. I knew I had passion, but it was a shock to me that my passion cannot bring food to my table, cannot sort out my financial needs. And I kept asking. I did a lot of research, read a lot of books. I did a lot of searches online, watched a lot of YouTube videos, all of those kind of things. Until one day I went for a program and I asked the man a question. He's a successful businessman. He has a multi-million, business. And I asked him that, sir, you have passion. I have passion. But how can you convert? How can you monetize your passion? And he said something so shocking. He said, there are times you have to do the things you don't have passion for just to finance the things you have passion for.
You think that your passion is what really makes life worth living to start with.
Living. But before the things that will give you that will give you significance can bring money at you take a walk. For example, if you are going to ministry,
so true.
you have needs,
and you must not even should not even be the
should not be the priority in your heart.
Yes.
See, no matter how much you try to ignore financial needs, prayer is the key to all things. But prayer does not solve all things necessarily. So prayer can be the hand that holds the key to every door, but prayer is not the key to every. See, where you have financially will remain financial needs. Even say, in fact, this is one of the things that defines this thing about miracle. I just want to quickly address this.
Yeah.
Most times, the things we define as miracle are God's own act and expression of mercy to intervene and show his superiority and his love for humanity based on principles that have been violated. But most times when God is trying to show us mercy because we have negated a principle, for example, if you are not valuable, you cannot expect to have money. So many people may not be valuable and expect to have some level of money, and God just because of his love, people have kind of expressed. make some level of financial provision. So
it doesn't mean that's God's primary
does
plan.
not mean that's God's way.
Yes.
Because that's the way it makes sense. Many people can go to church and ask those financial miracles, for example, now. And I think just think that it's not like God is cherry picking people out. It's because that's not his usual way of blessing people. It's just an act of his love. Now, it doesn't mean that financial provision is not a reality in God, but I'm saying that there are certain principles that ensures guaranteed life results that will lead to pursue all these kind of things. So now, back to my point. I'm trying to say that there are principles. Success is predictable like so much relief. Success is very, very predictable, and people tend to complain about lack of result because they don't understand how to make use or how to engage principles. So when it comes to issue of finances, the basic thing to learn about finances is that it is your potential that you give expression to that will ensure your financial prosperity. I cannot say more than that. If you do not give expression, this is it. Everybody has a need. We have too many problems in this world for you to not be valuable. You have too many problems in this world for you to not be valuable. But most times people do not understand the unique solution that God has ordained them to provide solutions to. And I tell people, if you are not a solution to a problem, you are part of the problem that serious people like us are trying to solve.
My God.
I'm telling you. So the point is that if you cannot, that's why life generally is a if you want to make the most out of life, it starts from the point of discoveries. And one of the discoveries you must make apart from yourself, your purpose is actually your potential. Your potential is what gives expression to your innermost ability, and what gives essence to you is what will bring your value, your relevance, your significance, your honor as a person sustainably. So if there's anybody speaking to me right now says that I have any form of financial need, I used to say that I learned this that there are only two ways by which finances come. Is either you sell or favor comes. And even the Bible says that good understanding betters favor. So that means that it's a principle that betters favor. Favor as we think is not something that happens haphazardly or that happens all those kind of things. Favor is predictable. There are people that live their life continuously favoring you. Because they understand. Because there's good understanding birth. Birth means that it brings forth. So if you understand, good understanding of what? Of how favor comes. But primarily, I say to people that selling is God's way or God's ordained way for people to prosper. You have something you can sell. I tell you, there are a lot of things you can sell. There are three major things you must be able to sell.
This has nothing to do with passion or any of these things anymore.
Well, of course it does.
Okay.
The foundation is that
because once my passion is not selling,
you know that's what I'm about to say by saying that selling is not just let me put it this way. This is how I define it. Selling is not just getting money out of people's pockets. Selling is the ability to propose or to present a package solution to people who have a problem that is corresponding to it.
Yes.
What I'm doing right now, I'm selling. The only problem is that I'm not selling a product, I'm selling information. There are three things you can sell. Number one is your product, number two is information, number three is service. For me, I had number four, you can sell yourself. If I sell myself to you, you buy me. And by buying me, you buy me as an individual. You buy what I have, everything that immortalizes my impact.
Anything that any brand, quote and unquote, that is attached to you.
That's attached to me. You buy everything that's a gift. And what you will give me in return is called reward. The problem is that when you direction selling, people think money. I've told you, people think money is the only form of reward. It's not.
But I mean, people still need to solve this money matter. So
yes, I know they still need to. So the point is very simple. There are three laws that guarantees financial prosperity in every form. Number one is the law of value. You cannot be loaded and not be needed. You are not needed because you are not loaded. Somebody said to me, they don't call fools to hold a microphone. See, you think you are not needed, they don't even need you, are not even doing anything. It's because you are not loaded yet. I'm telling you. Now, you cannot be loaded and not be needed. You cannot be needed and not be regarded. I mentioned that earlier. But for you to move from being regarded to being rewarded, there was something you have to understand about next what you call the law of productivity. Now, what is the law of value?
People stop at the Level of being regarded. For instance, I like your painting.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on. And you are painting for yourself alone.
Yeah.
You pay yourself. And you're hungry very well.
Nice.
The problem is that people do not understand that. Now, for that person, okay, don't let me go ahead of myself.
Okay.
Because somebody that has even painted already has given productivity to his value.
Yes.
The first is what I call the law of value. Recognizing and coming to the point of discovery of what gives you essence as a person. And at that point of value, there's a lot of things you have to do because value at times it takes a lot of input of it to give expression to its output. What do I mean? You may need to do a lot of learning education, self-education to realize a lot of things about you. For example, you have to buy books to know much about yourself. And it is when you know a lot about it, you now begin to realize. So it was some treasure locked up inside of you, but you have to do some input to come to the point of output.
Yeah.
So when you realize those things about of you now give expression to them productively. Productivity is the ability to immortalize your impact. So when you begin to, for example, this video you're doing right now, you have the vision to do this. You are valuable. You can remain valuable like that and remain poor. But the point is that you made a decision to create something to make out a product. You don't know the number of people this is going to bless right now. So you are productive enough, but you did not just stop at the point of being productive. You understood what I call, which is the third law, the law of exchange. The ability to present a packaged solution to a hungry and dying world that matches the problem that they have. So many people can be productive, can be valuable, be productive, but not understand the law of exchange. You cannot effectively, I cannot say many things in this video. You cannot effectively go through all these three levels of financial prosperity and you will not be financially prosperous.
Wow. Wow. So many things to say. Now he said, Mr. Adeyemi, I did updates. He said, there are some things you cannot say here. So
No, it's not like I can't say them. But if I say them, it
might be misconstrued.
So I like clearing the hair.
Yeah.
I like addressing them fully.
Wow.
I mean, let me just give an advice.
Okay.
Buy the truth.
I said it not. I mean, people. I mean, I know some of you are already like, okay, who is this man? I mean, I want to connect with him. We're going to be dropping the social media handles so you can connect via various social media platforms, right? But time is no more on our side, and I want to wrap this up already. So, Mr. Jude, I've been enjoying. I've been enjoying you so much.
I love it.
Yeah. Wow. We've done one session before this one. Let me even do another one after this one. But I mean, so to wrap this up, we've talked about discovering yourself. This really stood out for me. Like your passion is as powerful as your talent.
Yes.
The Messi Ronaldo thing just makes so much sense in my brain right now, and that's just so true. So even if you think you don't have a talent, you must look at something that you are passionate about
and develop
skill around it. Right? And I think of course, you said part of your potentials leads to your ability to monetize. Right, if you develop them well and all of those things, right?
So it's discovery.
Okay.
It's discovery to developing to deploying. So it is when it's at the point that you deploy. So when you discover something, it's at its raw form. When you develop it, you make it presentable. When you deploy it, you give it out in exchange for value. So it's at that point that the reward comes, in which money can be one of the rewards.
But we also talked about the fact that you said you attended the conference and where the person said sometimes you may need to do the not passion things so that you can have enough resources to fund the passion things.
So what that means, I'll just end it by this because many people are justified, because when you hear this kind of topic, I just think purpose. I had that problem as a person, or should I say problem? I had that challenge as a person because I just wanted everything about purpose, but it was just the perfectionistic me that was giving expression to myself. I forget that in life you are allowed to make mistake but to make it fast. So you need to focus on surviving at times before you have significance. The Bible wants us to be productive. In this is my Father glorified when you bear much fruit.
Yes.
There are so many things you do that may not align with your purpose. It's actually a journey that is tilting you towards the fulfillment of your purpose. So that's why I can say a lot of things. There's something called purpose financing. Purpose financing is the ability to understand the other expressive part of you that can give expressions because we are multidimensional. But those things may not have the level of honor, relevance, or significance like the things that give us purpose do. For example, to create a show like this, we'll have some level of financial provision or at least some level of resources that have gone into it, even if it's not financial, because resources are not just financial. We have human resources, we have a lot of, so there's a level of that will have gone into it now. But how will this one bring money? It can, but it will not be in this form. And even if it will be in this form, it will not be instantaneous. But you have to look for resources to fund this one. Yes, so the resource to fund this one is actually locked up inside of in other things that you can do. Which will not necessarily be your purpose. So true, so true. So it is when you use those resources to do this. We must address this finally. Because many people think it's just one thing. So you hardly convince the person that wants to play football that he can do another thing and still play football. Yeah, we even use ministry. Okay, I'm ministry. Yeah. So when you tell us you are going to become, I'm going to become a pastor, Baba. You are called, not sent yet. See, between the moment that you are called and you are sent, there's a lot of things you can give. You can give expression to that will bring money, pending the time to you. And the time people that said this will bring. So usually people say that what you do before you begin to fulfill purpose. You keep discovering the purpose. If you discover the purpose, you keep preparing for destiny. So in that preparation, see, financial needs do not understand. Financial needs do not understand any bias. It does not. They don't speak tongues in the market. Now money that they collect. Somebody needs to hear that. They don't speak tongues in the market. They don't speak tongues in the market. Yeah. After you are done speaking your tongues, come on. The food you are going to eat tonight. You are it's not the one come on. Yeah, exchange tongues for beans. We don't. I know bread and beans. Most times people do this religiously. Our God is not a foolish God. He's a very intentional God. He has made the provision that we have failed to come to the realization of and make him to look like. And sometimes when we put pressure, what you're saying now is that sometimes when you put financial pressure on the purpose, when it's not mature enough, I'm telling you. So there might be an issue. Yes, it will even kill you. And there's something that happens to your mind when you perpetually fail. You will eventually believe that you cannot succeed. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. Wow. It can even kill the expression of the vision eventually. Wow. We've really had an amazing time here this afternoon. Thank you so much, Mr. Judah. I think just one more word. I always like, my guests to give like a finishing word. But let's assume, you're talking to yourself, your 10-year younger self, right? What is something you can tell the person to maybe you must do this thing, I did it and it worked, or something I did not do and I think you have to do it. So you'll be in a different place than you are today. Don't do life alone. Find a mentor. It is pride to gallivant your way through what you can have exact principles to work stressless. Find a mentor. So deep. So it is pride for you to guess your way to a future somebody as why should I die for myself if Jesus have died for me? So why should I guess my way to the future when there is someone that, because everything we desire, someone else have done it. Yes, sir. So it is wisdom to just submit yourself to people's. They will teach you what they took. What the journey of 40 years, you do it in 40 days. Because they went through a lot of mistakes. Find the mentor. So don't do life alone. You fail as if Jesus didn't die for you. You fail as if Jesus didn't die for you. But don't do life alone. It's dangerous. Wow. It's pride. You will cry. Maybe not cry. It's a conditional statement. If you choose to do life alone. Wow, find the mentor. Very, very important. I mean, thank you so much, Mr. Judah. Like this episode, very, very amazing. To think I was not even really sure whether we're going to do this, but here we are doing this. I mean, he's here. It's in this vicinity for a while, so I'm maximizing the opportunity before he gets traveling again. I'm so grateful. All right, on behalf of myself and my entire team, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you everyone for
for listening again to this episode. See you see next time on the School of Growth. My name is Samuel Uluwagbami.